Welcome to the Water Trough, where we can't make you drink, but we will make you think. My name is Ed Drozda, the Small Business Doctor, and I'm really excited you chose to join me here as we discuss topics that are important for small business folks just like you. If you're looking for ideas, inspiration, and possibility, you've come to the right place. Join us as we take steps to help you create the healthy business that you've always wanted. Welcome back to the Water Trough. This is Ed Drozda, the Small Business Doctor. And Happy New Year to everybody. I hope you had great holidays. We seem to prepare for these things from July forward. And then, of course, in a heartbeat, it's over. So this time I'd like to talk about something that I think we can all relate to, and that's called ego. And as the title says here, everyone's got one. Everyone's got an ego. So what is an ego? By definition, ego is a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance. And if you thought about it, you'd probably say to yourself, ego is not always a great thing. In fact, many times people think that ego gets in the way of productivity, of effective communication. Ego stands in the way of us having a decent working relationship or any kind of relationship with other people. The reality is there's nothing wrong with having an ego. Once again, we've all got them. There's nothing wrong with feeling important, but what does matter is that we have to regulate that ego. The ego becomes an issue when it affects your decision-making, when it impacts your mood. Perhaps it turns you into a victim, or you feel like an underdog. Or, in the most profound of cases, it makes you feel superior to others in order to justify your behavior. We've often heard that people who are perceived as being overbearing, people who have a very strong presence, are folks who actually are lacking in self-esteem. People who do these things, who put on this facade, this appearance of being powerful, uncaring, disenchanted or disinterested, are actually trying to hide the fact that underneath it all, they lack that belief in their own goodness. In other words, their ego itself might be somewhat fragile, and they're not able to accommodate the people around them. So they put on these airs with the intention of distracting or detracting from their underlying weakness. But of course, it's the complete opposite. These are not people who are powerful for the sake of power. They're not people who are strong for the sake of inner courage. They're people who manifest something that they are not. And when you get down to it, the thing that matters the most in our relationships, in our work experience, in our life experience, is that we're able to be ourselves. The ego is something that we all have, and it goes with us wherever we go. And in the workplace, it can be a particularly impactful thing when we are thinking about our effectiveness in the workplace. One of the things that really is important, profoundly important, is our ability to instill in others the support, the commitment, the engagement that will allow us to succeed. And the ego has the ability, or I should say the way we manage our ego, has the ability to enhance or to denigrate that effect. As with everything, first and foremost, we have to be aware of what is going on. We have to be aware that our ego does exist. We have to be aware of how it's being managed, how we are regulating that ego. Are we in fact coming across pushing people away, defending ourselves because of our hidden weaknesses? Are we engaging people by being good listeners and allowing our ego to appreciate the fact that we believe in ourselves, that we have sufficient self-esteem and self-awareness, and therefore accepting that others can do the same. The challenge is to be aware always of how our ego is being regulated. This is the challenge in the workplace. It's not sufficient that I have achieved these lofty goals of being a business owner, of being a manager or a member of the executive team. I need to be one who is approachable. And the ego is one of those things that can be a barrier to our accessibility, to our approachability. So my challenge to you is this. As with many things, I ask you to check in with yourself, to check in with your manifestation of your ego. How do you regulate it? How do you present it? How do you think you're perceived? Are you afraid to ask, or are you willing to ask how you are perceived? Taking these things into consideration can allow you to redefine the way in which you conduct your daily business activities. Perhaps you're in a perfect place. Well, as perfect as one could hope to be. And on the other hand, there might be room for improvement. There's nothing wrong with that. After all, we're human. In the meantime, this is Ed Drozda. I hope you have a handle on your ego. I want to wish you a healthy business, and I'll see you again next week.